Welcome to the video tutorial of Python programming. Yet another day of learning Python programming language. So in this video, I'm going to cover some more detailed concepts of Python programming. So let's see the contents, what we're going to cover in this video class. So we are going to learn about the operators which are used in Python. There are different kinds of operators: arithmetic operators, relation operators, assignment operators, logical, identity, and membership operators. And there are something called any, all. These are the two different operators type. We can say some different kind of concept where it can be applied on the data, so which is new in Python, which is not there in other programming languages. So that we are going to cover in this today's class. Then we have type conversions and expressions. So these are all the some more detailed concepts of programming, but these concepts already that we have in other programming language also. So if you are familiar with C or C++, there also we have some operators and type conversions, expressions. All these different kinds of concepts can be applied on the other programming language also. Similarly, any programming language, we have these kind of things through which we write the programming statements and get it our work done. So let's start with the operators concept. So as we know that operator is a symbol that we're going to use for perform any mathematical calculations or logical operations. So any kind of calculation part, an operator can be used. So generally we call an operator the symbol which perform an operator is a symbol which perform some different kind of operation. So we can say that it is used to manipulate the values, manipulate the data values. So here an operand is a value or a variable on which the operator performs its task. So as by the definition, we can understand that an operator is a symbol which is used to perform the operation on the operands. That means the values on which the operator can be performed. Suppose let us say that we want to perform an addition between two numbers. So a and b we take the values of a and b. Then we perform the operation addition. That means the plus symbol is used to perform the addition between the two numbers. So a and b are called as our operands, and the plus symbol what we use to perform the addition operation, that is called as an operator. So that is operators. So like any symbol, if we use subtraction, that is minus, can be used to do the subtraction. Then if you want to compare between the two values, it is greater than or less than or anything. So we have the symbols like greater than symbol, less than symbol. So all these symbols are nothing but which perform some specific action on the operands. So these symbols can be used to perform the any kind of calculation or logical comparison and many other things. But any programming language, it understands only the symbol which is called as an operator, that can be used in between the expressions or in between the operands to get the result. Next, types of operators in Python. So as we see, Python is also a very Python also contains a rich set of operators, where I have given the classification what all the operators that we are going to use in Python programming. Those are arithmetic operators, relational operators, assignment operators, logical, identity, membership operators, and bitwise operators. The thing we need to remember here is these kind of operations are very similar in other programming languages also, where in C or C++ or Java, that the other programming languages, we have all these operators. But the somewhat different operators that we are going to learn specifically in this class, that is identity operators and membership operators. remaining all these operators already we have seen in some other programming languages. But well, again, from the starting itself, that means each and every type of operators will try to explore how it can be used and how it can be uh, implemented in this programming language. So let's start with arithmetic operators. So as you see, arithmetic operators, that is a plus, minus, asterisk symbol, slash, percentage symbol, double star is there, and double slash is there. So in other programming languages, we might have seen all these operators, which as plus is for addition, minus is for subtraction, star is for multiplication, slash is for division, modulus is for getting the remainder. But somewhat different operators that we can see in this language, that is especially in Python, is double star and double slash. So as it you can see the description here, double star is nothing but performing the exponential calculation. That means power calculation. Suppose if you want to find out 5 square, that means 5 into 5, which is the result is 25, or some values 10 power 3, 10 into 10 into 10. So these kind of things we can be used in Python with the help of this double star operation, or double star symbol. Okay, so as you can see that in this slide, I'm taking some two values, a and b. I'm also giving the values for a, that is 10, and b is 3. So I'm performing the operators on here. So you can see examples also there. So a plus b, so plus is an addition operator which will perform the addition between the a and b, which will give the result as 13. Similarly, minus is a symbol which is used to subtract the values from a and b, which will give the answer as 7. Then similarly, star is a symbol which can be used to multiply the a and b values, which can give the result as 30, because we have taken values 10 and 3. Similarly, a slash b, which will give the quotient. So when we divide 10 by 3, so we'll get the quotient as 3.333 something. So there is a huge number. Okay, so similarly, when we divide, when you perform the modulo operator between a and b, 10 modulo 3, you will get the remainder as 1. So modulo operator will give the remainder. So when you divide 10 divided by 3, 3 3s are 9, then the remainder will be 1. So that is the modulo operator. So the next operator, that is double star. So double star, as I said, that it is a exponential operator. That means it will provide the power between the two operands. Okay, so we have taken the value a as 10 and b as 3. That is, simply it becomes 10 power 3. 10 power 3 in the sense 10 into 10 into 10, which will give the answer as 1000. So double star is nothing but which will perform the exponential operators, exponential calculation. Okay, and somewhat different operator that exists in Python programming, that is double slash. Double slash is nothing but, as you see in the description, it will perform the division which the digits after the decimal point are removed. Okay, so what happens is when we divide 10 double slash 3, when we divide 10 double slash 3, you will get the quotient as 3 point something. So as you can see in the above, that is when I have divided 10 divided by 3, I'll get the quotient as 3.3333 something, a very huge number. So what happens with the double slash is it will floor the value. That means after decimal point, it will remove all the numbers that we got as a result. So only 3 will be there. Okay, that is what some different operation that is going to be used in Python. That is when I divide 10 double slash 3, usually I get some answer as 3.333 something. So what happens in this operation is, especially in this double slash operation, is it is called as a floor division. That means we are taking only the floor part. That means we are rounding the value to the floor. Okay, so you might have learned about floor and ceil. Floor is nothing but the nearest value to the result. Ceil is nothing but the upper nearest value of the number. Suppose when we have a result as 3.666 something. So when you perform ceil operation, you round it to 4, because 3.6 is nothing but after 0.5 you will ceil to the upper number. That is, when you perform the floor operation, you will see you will perform that, you will consider the result as the lower half. That means you consider only 3. Okay, so this is the floor division operation. We can, as we can see here, double slash is nothing but a floor division operation. What is the floor division is? It performs the division and will remove the digits after the decimal point. Okay, so that is what two different operators that are used in Python programming. Okay, remaining all the operators are as same as that in other languages. So double star is an exponent operator which will perform the power calculations, and double slash is a floor division operator which will round off the value to its floor. Okay, next. So in this slide I am trying to write a small Python code by taking the values a is equal to 9 and b is equal to 4. Then I have written some code by performing all these arithmetic operations. I have taken the variable add and is equal to a plus b. So I am performing the addition between a and b. So I'll get the answer add as some result I'll get. So that result I am printing all these results. Print add, print sub, print mul, print division 1, print division 2, print mod. Okay, and last one is print p. Okay, so when you see the output of all these operations, when I execute this example, I'll get the answer as this one. Okay, on the right hand side you can be able to see the answers. So print add is nothing but what the add contains. It's addition between the two numbers, a plus b, 9 plus 4, which is 13. Similarly, print sub is nothing but a subtraction variable which contains subtraction between a and b, 9 minus 4, which is 5. Similarly, multiplication operation. So I have taken a variable mul is equal to a into b. What I have performed here is product of the two numbers a and b, 9 into 4, which is 36. Similarly, division 1, a divided by b, 9 divided by 4. When you divide 9 by 4, 9 with 4, then you will get the quotient as 2.25. So in division 2, what I am doing is I am performing double slash operation. That means floor division operation. So what we have learned earlier in the earlier slide is, when we perform this double slash operation on two operands, it will floor the quotient value. That means in the above division 1, I'll get the answer. I have got the answer as 2.25. Now if I perform floor on that, I'll get only 2. Okay, so similarly, a percentage b in the sense 9 divided by 4, you should get the remainder. So 4 2's 8, and you will get the remainder as 1. Similarly, exponential a is equal to p is equal to a double star b. So 9 double star 4, that means 9 power 4, 9 into 9 into 9 into 9. So you will get the answer as 6561. So these are the different operators that we are used in Python. Next, coming to the other kind of operators called as the relational operators. So relational operators is very simple thing. There is nothing to learn new in this, because when you want to compare between the two values, we perform relational operators. So comparison is nothing but what we are defining whether the number is greater or lesser, or it is equal to or not equal to, or greater than or equal to or less than equal to. So this is also the same thing as we learned in the other programming languages. There is nothing new in this. Okay, so since there are nothing new in this concept, so I'm quickly skipping this concept. So relational operators which will perform the comparison between the two operands. Then for your convenience, I have given some examples here. So I have taken the values 13 and 33, A and B values. Then I have performed all the relational operators, A greater than B, print A greater than B. So based on the values 13 greater than 33, which is false. So this print function, what it will do is it will directly give this statement whether it is true or false. Okay, so since A greater than B is not true, then it is false. Okay, so similarly A less than B, 13 less than 33, which is true, then I got the result as true. A is equal to B, 13 is equal to 33, which is not true, then it gives the answer as false. Okay, similarly A not equal to B, A greater than or equal to B, and A less than or equal to B. The next type of operators is assignment operators in Python. So assignment operators is nothing but assignment is what giving some value to the variable. How we can write this thing? Suppose I want to assign some value to variable A. I want to give value 10 to variable A. What I should write is A is equal to B. So that is equal to operator is called as an assignment operator. I am assigning value 10 to the variable A. Okay, so it is very simple. So assignment operator is nothing but generally we use equal to. What it will do is it will assign some value to the variable, and we have this compound assignment operators. That means equal to will be combinedly used with some different arithmetic operators. Okay, so this also might we have learned in other programming languages. It is pretty same with other languages. So these are all operations are called as the compound assignment operators. So which is combined with arithmetic operators. When we return plus is equal to, suppose you have written plus is equal to in between to A and B. So A plus is equal to B. So if you return the statement like this, what it will internally means is A is equal to A plus B. Similarly, A minus is equal to B. What it means is A is equal to A minus B. Okay. So all these similar operations. So this is also the same type of concept, and nothing new in this. So these are also the operators which we have learned in the other languages. So I'm skipping this part also. Assignment operators. Then we go with the logical operators. So logical operators also the pretty same with other languages. We have three logical operators: and, or not. And in the sense we call it as a logical and, or logical not. So and in the sense what it will be used between the expressions. So if you have two expressions, A greater than B and A less than B, if you want to check whether the two expressions are true or false, so then we can use these logical operators. So we can say that logical operators can be used in between two or more expressions. So when we have two or more expressions, then these logical operators can be used. Suppose you can see that in example, I have a condition A less than B and I have a condition A greater than B. I want to check, I want to perform the calculation. If both the conditions are true, then only I have to move further and complete the other calculation part. Okay, so if you want to check both the conditions and I want to make sure that both the conditions are true, then only I can go further. Then I should use AND operator, logical AND operator in between the expressions. So you can see the description. So it returns true if all the conditions are true. Suppose A less than B and A greater than B are the two expressions I have. If both the expressions are true, then only you will get the total result as true, otherwise false. Similarly, logical OR. Logical OR in the sense, if any of the condition is true, then it is true, otherwise it is false. So might you have learned in this I have given some table format while I was explaining the C programming concepts to you. I have given a table format. So logical AND, logical OR, logical NOT. Logical AND, that means if both values are true, then the result will be true, and if any one of the condition is false, the result will be false. Similarly, logical OR is, if both the conditions are false, then you will get the result as false. If any one of the condition is true, then the total result will be true. And logical NOT is nothing but, if you have taken the true value, then it becomes false. False value, it will become true. Okay. So what you need to write here is, like in C programming, the operator we are using as double ampersand. For logical AND, double ampersand, and for logical OR, double slash, sorry, pipe symbol, and for logical NOT, exclamatory mark is used. But here in Python, we use these English statements only. We directly write AND, we directly write OR, and we directly write NOT. We are not using any symbols here. Like in C programming, we have used logical AND as a double ampersand, and a logical OR for double pipe symbol, and logical NOT for exclamatory mark. We are not going to use these symbols here. So we use directly these English words. Okay. So if you want to perform in between two expressions, you write directly AND, A and D AND. Then if you want to perform OR operation, logical OR operation, you write directly OR. Okay. Right. So this can be used in this fashion. So don't use any operators like any symbols. You directly use these English statements. Okay. Right. So the next different kind of operators that are available in Python, especially Python, is and is not. Okay. So is and is not are the two identical operators. Both are used to check if two values are located on the same part of the memory. Okay. So two variables that are equal does not imply that they are identical. I'll explain. Okay. So is and is not are the two different operators, especially used in Python. Okay, it will be checked between two values. Okay, so is will be, so let's see with the example first, then we can go back to the definition. Okay, so I have taken the two values, a1 is equal to 3 and b1 is equal to 3, and I have taken the value a2 is equal to geeks for geeks. Okay, it's a string. Similarly, b2 is equal to geeks for geeks. Okay, so a1 b1 contains the same value 3, a2 b2 contains the same string which is called as geeks for geeks, and a3 b3 contains a list of values 1 2 3 and 1 2 3. It is also can be applied 1 2 3 1 2 3. So when you have written this in square brackets, it is called as a list. So but I will explain those list concept in when we cover the data types concept. Okay, so as if now you understand that a1 b1 contains 3 3, a2 b2 contains geeks for geeks, a3 b3 contains a list of values 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, now I am checking print a1 is not b1. Okay, so I am checking the relation between a1 and b1. Is a1 b1 are equal? It is equal. a1 contains 3 and b1 contains 3. So when I want to print a1 is not b1, I'll get the answer as false. Why it is false? a1 is b1. It is equal. Okay, so is can be used to check the equality, if they are both identical or not. Okay, now so now I am coming to the definition. that is nothing but it is checked between two operands or the two values to check the identicality of the values. So as per the program, A1 contains 3 and B1 contains also 3. So A1 is equal to B1. Okay, so what I am checking here is A1 is not B1. So when I have written A1 is not B1, it is false because it is true. Both the A1 B1 contains the value 3. So both are identical. Okay, so here what I am checking is they are not identical. A1 B1 are not identical. No, it is identical. So this statement is wrong. So that's why I got the answer as false. Next, print A2 is B2. A2 is B2. Is it correct? Yes, it is correct because A2 B2 contains A2 is a variable which contains geeks for geek string. B2 is also a variable which also contains the string geeks for geeks. Okay. So A2 is B2. Then it is this statement is right. So I got the answer as true. Okay. Now A3 is equal to some list of values 1, 2, 3. B3 is equal to some list of values 1, 2, 3. Okay. So here as we can see that A3, B3 both contains the same values. If I check A3 is B3, is it equal or not? It is equal. So I should get the answer as true, but here I am getting the answer as false. Why it is it is something related to the concept called list. So we have not covered the concept of list here. So once you go through with the list concept, you will understand why it is false. So because lists are mutable, that means we cannot change the values of the list, and both variables should not contain the same list of elements. In any program, both the variables, suppose A3 is equal to 1 to 3, B3 is equal to 1 to 3. It should not be like B3 is equal to 1 to 3 because A3 is a list of values 1 to 3 and B3 should be other values, not 1 to 3. It should not be same as that in other variables. Okay, so this concept can be covered in the later hours. So as if now you forget about this one. So when we cover the list concept, then you can able to understand why it is false. Okay, so as if you try to understand, is not and is, these two are different operators which are called as the identical operators to check whether the values are identical or not. Okay, next, membership operators in Python. Membership operators means to test whether a value is present in the sequence. Suppose I have given for you an apple and an orange and a grape. Okay, so I have given some apples to you and some oranges to you and some grapes to you, and I have asked you that whether your basket contains grapes. What the answer? You will say yes, it is there because I have given you. Okay, so it is there in the basket. So if I ask you is banana is in your basket, you said no because that is not there in the basket because I have not given that to you. Okay, so to check whether any value contains or any sequence of values contains a specific value. Suppose I have a list of values 25, 35, 65. Now you want to check whether 15 is there in that list or not. Obviously no. Why? Because you have taken a list which contains only 3 values. Those are 25, 35 and 65. Obviously 15 is not there in that list. Okay, so to check these kind of situations, that means to check whether a value is exist in that particular list of values that I have given to you, at that time we use in and not in operations. Okay, in and not in operators. Let's see with an example. You will understand how this can be worked. right? So x is equal to, there is a string geeks for geeks, okay, there is a string, and y is equal to some values I have written 3 colon a 4 colon b, okay. Okay, so you can check with this program. Suppose I have written a statement print g in x, that means capital G is present in that variable x or not. So what is variable x contains? Variable x contains a string which is nothing but geeks for geeks. So when I check, is it alphabet G is available in this geeks for geeks or not? So obviously it is there, G is there in that string. So you will get the answer as true. So you can see the answer as here, true. Next. Now I want to print geeks not in X. That means I want to check the word geeks in X. But try to observe here, this G is small g. That means it's a lowercase alphabet. So I want to check a word which starts with a small g. Is it there in that X? It is not. So obviously this is true because I have checked that it is not in X. Yes, it is not there in that X. So that's why I'll get the answer as true. Okay, so once again I'm telling you this this concept. I am checking geeks is a word which is available in variable X or not. Okay, so as most of the people might say that it is there. Geeks is a word, it is there in that X variable. But what I am telling you is this geeks is nothing but it starts with a uppercase letter. So this geeks is different from lowercase letter. I want to check a geeks word which starts with a lowercase letter. Is it there in that X? No, it is not there. So I am checking not in X. So it is true. Okay. Now I am checking geeks not in X. It starts here with the capital G. So geeks not in X, which is not correct statement because it is there. The word geeks which starts with a capital letter, it is there in X variable. So now, so that this is a false statement. Whatever I am printing here is a false statement because it is true. It is there in that X value. Okay. Now print 3 in Y. So Y is a variable which assigns two values here. One is A, 3 is taken as a value A and 4 is taken as a value B. Okay. So what I am trying to see here is it 3 available in Y variable? Yes, it is there. Y accepts two different values, 3 and 4. Okay, so this might be another different kind of assigning the values. So forget about this. We'll cover this statement with the next classes. Why? Because till now we have learned about only a single value assignment, but here we have multiple values and with some key and value pair. Okay, so one is the key and one is the value. One is the key and one is the value. So 3 and 4 are the keys and A and B are the values. So it's a different kind of assignment operator. So forget about this. Okay, I will cover this concept in the next classes. So geeks is not in and we in this example we try to cover not in and in. So in and not in are nothing but what it will gives us the description is whether a particular element is present in that list or not. To check that, we'll write A in the list. Whether it is not there in the list, so we have written A not in list. Okay, so in and not in, these are the two different operators we are going to use in Python. So which is exclusive operators which are not available in the other programming languages. Next, any, all. there are two different concepts called any and all. So what is this any and all? Any and all are the two built-ins provided in Python used for successive and or. Okay, so this is also same as with and, logical and logical or. Okay, so any and all. Let's see with the basic examples. So I have written some statements like print any false, 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 and false. Since all are false, false is returned. Okay, so what happens with some of the values are true? Suppose three values are false here and one value is true. So I am printing any. Any means what? If either one of the value is true, the total expression become true. Okay, so this is like or statement, logical or statement in Python. So might you have learned logical or in the previous slides. I have told you what is logical or. Logical or is what? Any one of the statement is true, it is true, otherwise false. Okay, so I am checking any. Any means what? I have given four values here. Out of four values, three values are false and one is true. So what I am telling here with this any function is, if any of the value is true, then the total value become true. Okay, so similarly here also, any, true, false, false, false. So out of four values, three are false and one is true. So what is the thing is, any one of the value is true, it is true. So you'll get the answer as first one is false, second one is true, and third one is true. So any corresponds to logical or operation in Python. Next, see, these are the things when we try to implement with different data types in Python called as a list, strings, tuples, sequences. So we are going to use all these different data types in Python. At that time, these are useful. You might not understand at this point of time, but these are useful when you try to utilize with tuples, sequences. Okay, so at that time you will try to understand what is the importance of these any and all. Okay, right. Next one is all. What is all here? So if all the values are true, then obviously the expression become true. Now if any one of the value is false, obviously the answer is false. So all means what? All the values should be true, then only true. If any one of the condition fails, you will get the answer as false. Okay, so like simple example that when you want to promote for the next year, or after or suppose when you want to apply for a any particular job or software engineering job or something, what the basic requirements is, first of all you should have a degree. That is the first condition. Second one is you should have a degree with the computer science background, whether it is BTech computer science or MTech computer science, or any degree which is equal to the computer science background. So if any of these conditions met, or all of the conditions are met, there are two things here. So there are three conditions. I am giving three conditions to you. One is you should have a degree, first thing. That means what is the degree? You should pass the degree. You should not fail the degree. You should pass all the semesters of your previous course. Okay, second condition is what? You should have a degree in especially computer science. Third condition is what? You should have more than 70% aggregate. So I have given three conditions for you. If all the three conditions are true, then only you will get the job. Okay, so for example I am saying, so if all the three conditions are true, then only you will get the job. If any one of the condition is false, you will not get the job. Okay, so any and all, there are two things when we generally in our practical life also, so we may come across with so many conditions where we have to satisfy all the conditions, or we may satisfy any of the conditions. So these kind of situations can be handled with these things, any and all. So similarly in Python programming also, there are some situations where we need to take out the decisions with satisfying all the conditions and with satisfying any of the conditions. Okay, so at that time these concepts can be used. Okay, next. So once again I'll summarize the concepts what we have learned till now. So we have learned about the operators concept. We covered all the different kind of operators: arithmetic operators, relational, assignment, logical, identity, and membership operators. And we have covered a special built-in functions which are available in Python. Those are any and all. Okay, so now coming to the next concept is, that is type conversions. So as we know, the type conversions is nothing but converting data type of one value into a data type of another value. Okay, so this already we have done with the C language also. While learning in the C language also, we have converted the values. Suppose I want to convert a float into an integer. Okay, we have done that. Similarly, integer into float, we have done that. So similarly here also in Python we have these typecasting or type conversion thing. Okay, so the process of converting a value from one data type into another data type is called as a typecasting. So as we all know the definition. Okay, so integer type is converted into float, float is converted into integer, right? So these things can be done, or these things can be called as a typecasting or simply casting, or we can say type conversion. So typecasting or type conversion both are same, right? So in especially Python, we use these three specific functions: int, float, and str, string. These specific functions are used to convert the values into some different literals. Okay, so int function is used to convert an integer, float, and string value into an integer value. Okay, so we have any value. If that value should be converted into an integer, then we should use int in front of that value. Similarly, if you want to convert any kind of value into float, then we should write a function float in front of the value. Similarly, if we want to convert any kind of value into string, then we should write str function in front of that value. Okay, so see, we can see an example here. Okay, so a is equal to int of 10. So what I want to convert is the value 10 into an integer. No need to convert 10 value into an integer, because already 10 is an integer. Okay, 10 is an integer, so no need to convert that. But still he tried to explain that. Okay, so when you try to convert 10 into integer, and now you want to check what is the data type of value a. What is the data type of a value a? A contains what? Value 10. And what is the data type of a becomes? Obviously it becomes integer, because in Python programming especially, what we have learned in the previous class is, based on the value that we have assigned to the variable, based on the value that we have assigned to the variable, the data type of that particular value becomes, right? So a is nothing but a stored a value called 10. A stored a value called 10. So 10 is an integer, so that's why a becomes a type of integer. Okay, so when you see this output here, the value of a is 10 and the data type of a is integer, because I have written type of a. What is this type of a? In the previous class I have used this. So we can see the output here. The value of a is 10 and the type of that variable a is integer. So we have used this type of a in the previous class. We have learned about to check the data type of any variable, we can use this type of a. Okay, type is a function which is used to check what is the data type of that variable. Similarly, a is equal to 60.99. I have taken a float value here. Now in front of that float value, what I have written is int. So obviously, what will the answer? What is the answer I should get? I should get only the integer value. Even though it is a float value, I am converting that float value into an integer. So that's why I should get the answer as 60. So the value of a is 60 and the data type of that value is integer. Similarly, I have taken a value 150 which is in double quotations. So when we have written the value in double quotations, obviously what it becomes a string. That string will be in front of that. If you have written integer value, so 150 will be converted into an integer. Even though it is a string value, it will take as an integer value 150. So a contains an integer value 150. So the value of a is 150 and the data type of that value a is integer, because even though it is string value, we have written in front of that integer, so it becomes an integer value. So all these three values automatically becomes an integer values. So similarly, float, see here, a is equal to 10, but in front of the 10 value I have written float. So when we have written float, obviously 10 becomes 10.0. okay, 10.0. So a is 10.0 and what is the type of that variable a? It is a float value. Okay, similarly float of 60.99. So nothing, it is directly a float value, so there is nothing to convert here. So obviously it will print as 60.99 and the data type of that class is float. Okay, and 150 we have written in the brackets. So this 150, when we enclose it in double quotations, it becomes a string. Okay, so in front of that we have written float. So a contains a value 150.0. okay, because I am converting this string value into float 150.0. So the data type of that a is again float. So similarly str, that means string. So str of 10 means what? So similarly we can see the string typecasting. So whatever the value we can try to convert, we should give that in a string function. So you can see the second thing. So here we can see that 60.99 can be converted into a string value and 150 can also be converted into a string value. So as you can see in output, the value of a is 10, but that a is nothing but a string, because we have converted that 10 into a string value. So a contains a string value 10. Similarly 60.99 is a float value, generally we can see that, but when you have written this str in front of that, so automatically it becomes a string 60.99. So again 150 is also a string. Okay, so this is about the conversion of typecasting. That means conversion of one data value into another. So what we use here is three different type of functions, which are integer, float and str, to convert different values into integer and different values into float and different values into string. And the last thing we have used come across in Python, that is in this session, is expressions. Nothing but expression is nothing but what? Expression is nothing but it is a combination of an operators, operands, etc. So any statement which contains all these operators and operands and variables, it's called as an expression. So it's a basic thing, it's a general concept. So we have seen some example here. I've taken the values a, b and d. I've written a statement c is equal to a plus b into d. So what it happens is calculating all these things and storing into the value c. So when you print c, it will give the result as something, the calculation of all these things, a plus b into d. Similarly e. Okay, so we can use expressions in this fashion. Okay, so that's it for today's class.